you join us at the start of the 2017 F1 season, the first race of 16 here today in Australia, as the drivers are doing the formation lap right now. Lewis Hamilton on pole position, hoping to get his 4th World Championship. Of course, the last season was won by teammate Nico Rosberg. He's got a new teammate now, and here is Marcus Ericsson in P20, the final position for the Sauber F1 team. Lewis Hamilton now nearly at the end of the formation lap as we will begin this exciting first race of the season. Ferrari seeming stronger than they were last year, and Red Bull not quite as strong. Lots of shakeups throughout the field, but we will see really the true pace of the cars when the lights are out. The cars forming the grid right now. And there we are with Nico Hulkenberg in P7. Now, the 5 red lights are going on. Lights out and away we go. And it is a great start from Kimi Raikkonen, actually better than Lewis Hamilton. But now Hamilton is ahead. One of the Red Bulls coming through up to P3. That is Daniel Ricardo. Kimi Raikkonen in P2 with Lewis Hamilton getting a better start. Now Sebastian Vettel overtaken by Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas going to also try to overtake Daniel Ricciardo. Bit of contact. Now Max Verstappen trying to overtake Sebastian Vettel. The Mercedes and the Red Bull going side by side right now. And here's Max Verstappen getting a better exit than Vettel. Where will he go? Down the inside, around the outside. Down the inside he goes, a bit on the curb, that won't work. Here is Felipe Massa, who has overtaken Nico Hulkenberg and is now in P7. As you can see, the 2 cars ahead of him fighting well. Max Verstappen goes round the outside, but it hasn't quite worked out. Now, Felipe Massa very, very close behind indeed. Where will he be able to make any move? Where will he go? He's not quite close enough. The Williams, of course, nowhere near as fast as it was last year, it seems. Out-qualified by the Renault, but they are quicker now. They got Felipe Massa getting ahead of the Renault, but here is Lewis Hamilton leading the way quite convincingly. Very, very good start for the 3-time world champion, who is chasing for his 4th. But Kimi Raikkonen, 1-time world champion in 2007, right behind Lewis Hamilton right now. He's actually beginning to put on the pressure. Will he be able to make a move? He's quite close behind. Already both of them making a good gap to Daniel Ricciardo behind, as there's a lock up there from Lewis Hamilton. Kimi Raikkonen putting the pressure on very, very well. And now Kimi Raikkonen just sticking right behind Lewis Hamilton. Of course, though, there is quite a lot of dirty air around Australia. Kimi Raikkonen, though, getting closer and closer by the lap, by the minute. And here is Carlos Sainz now, as there's a big train behind the top 6, behind the top 7 actually, as Nico Hulkenberg maybe has some issue with his car, as he is holding up quite a lot of cars now. Carlos Sainz is the next person in line behind Nico Hulkenberg, and yeah, a lot of people being held up by this man right here, Nico Hulkenberg, but he's going fast enough that they can't overtake him quite yet. But he may be under quite a lot of pressure now, as Carlos Sainz thinking about a move. Doesn't quite make it work though. And oh, here's Kimi Raikkonen. He managed to overtake Lewis Hamilton while all of that was going on. Kimi Raikkonen now leading the Grand Prix on the 2nd lap of the race. Here are the McLarens, a big train now. And here is Valtteri Bottas now behind Daniel Ricciardo for P3. He's going to go around the outside on harder tires too, but he doesn't quite make it work. Daniel Ricciardo has more grip with those tires, but no, it's actually going to be Valtteri Bottas who gets past. A fantastic move from the Finn. Here is Daniel Ricciardo now, and he's already far behind. His exit was compromised, and now he's got Sebastian Vettel breathing down his throat and his neck. And here is Sebastian Vettel, very close behind now. Will he be able to? Not quite close enough, but there's Max Verstappen going down the inside of both of them. Sebastian Vettel very close now behind Daniel Ricciardo. He could make a move very soon. Will he make it right here into this chicane? He's getting so close. It's a very difficult move to do, but he's going to do it. Will it work? Oh, a bit of contact, but it's going well, and I believe that he has got the position. And there he is now in P4. Daniel Ricardo from P3 down to, not P5, P6 in fact. Daniel Ricardo moving 3 positions in 1 lap. Not good for him, not good at all. And here's Sebastian Vettel, the man who managed to rob Daniel Ricardo of his P5. And here is Felipe Massa now doing a very, very good job. Max Verstappen in P4 now. Will he be able to hunt down Valtteri Bottas in P3? Unfortunately, doesn't look like he will right now. The Mercedes seem to be in a bit of a class of their own, honestly. But Kimi Raikkonen has been disturbing that. But they just seem so much faster than the likes of the Red Bulls and even the Ferraris. Here is Nico Hulkenberg, who has made a huge gap between himself and Felipe Massa up ahead, having some very bad straight line speed, which means that the cars behind him are very, very close, and he may risk losing a position any moment now. But he's actually managed to create a little bit of a gap as cars behind him are just squabbling, just fighting in this DRS train. Here is Fernando Alonso nearly getting past right there, but not quite able to do it. The McLaren Honda engine still not serving McLaren quite well. Unfortunately, they put into the car because they thought it would bring them some glory. Unfortunately, it did quite the opposite. But Fernando Alonso still doing quite a lot with the not so great package that he has. He has got DRS, so does the car in front. He's very, very close indeed. Not quite close enough to make a move, but he might be able to make a move within this lap as he is so close. In fact, he's going to do it right now down the inside, and he's going to do... Oh, there's contact. There's contact. The Toro Rosso of, I believe, that's Daniel Kvyat, not giving him the space that Fernando Alonso would like all the time. You have to leave a space. And that is the position for Daniel Kvyat here. Now Stoffel van Dorn trying to overtake Fernando Alonso as Fernando Alonso was slowed down by the dodgy maneuvers from Daniel Kvyat. And Stoffel van Dorn trying to get the better of his teammate, trying to overtake his experienced teammate Fernando Alonso, 2-time world champion, not quite being able to, but doing his absolute best, nearly managing to get past, but Alonso will not be going down without a fight. Stoffel van Dorn catching up very, very much through here, and he will have DRS, and I'm not sure that Fernando Alonso will. He does not have DRS, but he has to now focus on Romain Grosjean behind him. And there's contact there as the Force India locking up and hitting Felipe Massa there. No, that is Lance Stroll, I believe. Actually, a lot of things going on here today. But yeah, some big contact there between the Force India and the Williams. Not doing very well right now, but now Williams right behind. It is Lance Stroll. He won't be able to overtake quite yet. He had a bit of a bad line, and that means that the Haas of Romain Grosjean is able to get past. Possibly, he has got DRS. He's going to go down the inside. Amazing racing. Down the inside he goes, and I believe he has got the position. Now here is Nico Hulkenberg, who is now under a lot of pressure from the Force India of Sergio Perez. Here he is. Perez is on the softer tires. He's been catching up quite a bit. Nico Hulkenberg just not able to have enough race pace. His race pace is nowhere near as good as his qualifying pace. And now Sergio Perez is going to be very, very close indeed. A bit of dirty air holding him back, but he'll have a lot of slipstream now on this straight. But meanwhile, here is Valtteri Bottas in P3. Still nothing happening at the front. Nothing very exciting at all. But now people are beginning to pit in. This is Max Verstappen. This is also Sebastian Vettel, the Red Bull and the Ferrari pitting in. Now this will be a straight fight between Red Bull and Ferrari. Who will have the better pit stop? Both of them having a pretty good one, but it is the Red Bull that gets the better pit stop. Here is Max Verstappen. Oh, and he's just caught up in traffic right now. Just jumped by the Force India, who has not pit, and unfortunately that is not going to be helping his strategy, as he will be held up behind this Force India, and you know, people like Valtteri Bottas, who have not yet pit, will be gaining from this. As here is Max Verstappen, and this is where he's going to be hindered, I think, a bit, because he tries to go around the outside. It has worked, but he has lost. Even that little bit of time will count, and it will hinder him. As here he is now, Sebastian Vettel not yet having overtaken the Force India. Meanwhile, up ahead, there is a battle between a Renault and Carlos Sainz. What Renault is that? Is that Nico Hulkenberg? I believe it is. I believe that is actually the Renault. Now, here is Sebastian Vettel, him being held up by the Force India. I believe that's the Force India of Esteban Ocon, as Sergio Perez has pit in, I think. Now, here are the Toro Rosso and Renault, and they are staying out. This is going to hinder the likes of Sebastian Vettel and the likes of Max Verstappen. So perhaps pitting in later is the way to go, in which case Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton may end up getting the win, as Lewis Hamilton now is in the lead of the Grand Prix as Kimi Raikkonen has pit in. Will Kimi Raikkonen be in traffic? Hopefully not for his case, as Ferrari were having a bit of good luck there. Kimi Raikkonen leading the race since lap 2, but Lewis Hamilton putting in a pretty good lap. Look at him flying. Here is Valtteri Bottas as well, putting in a good lap. Valtteri Bottas will not be ahead of Lewis Hamilton, that is set in stone, but will Mercedes be able to get a 1-2 with this strategy? It is very, very possible, as they are doing just so well. Lewis Hamilton continuing yet again with those tires. Here is Max Verstappen right behind Nico Hulkenberg. Will he be able to make the move down the inside? Yes, he will. A bit on the grass, a bit on the curb, but he's got the position. He now has clean air, but he's lost so much time. And here is Sebastian Vettel, who is still yet to overtake Nico Hulkenberg. This has really compromised their strategy, but Sebastian Vettel has got DRS. Will he go down the inside? Not yet. This is really not good for him whatsoever. Max Verstappen is now able to stretch his legs, able to move forward, and able to create a gap. Sebastian Vettel has to get the move done soon, but he's still not going for the move. He's far more cautious than Max Verstappen has been. He doesn't want to get into a silly accident, and unfortunately that is costing him a bit of time. Will he go down the inside now? He's going to go around the outside. Yes, he is. Is he going to be able to move it? Nico Hulkenberg going very aggressive there, nearly pushing Sebastian Vettel off the road. But Vettel is in that position. He's made the overtake. Now he can finally do some push laps, as unfortunately he's been held up for quite a few laps. And now Lewis Hamilton pitting in on those tires, which means that Valtteri Bottas will be going out for yet another lap. And maybe if the overcut is the way to go, Valtteri Bottas will be winning out quite a lot. Valtteri Bottas now leading the Grand Prix, but his tires are looking a little bit more worn. Here's Kimi Raikkonen. No, I believe the Mercedes strategy is not working out. Kimi Raikkonen is now in the net P1. It's not the way that Mercedes have wanted things to go. Unfortunately, them being out on those tires for too long meant that they were beginning to wear, and that had not helped them at all, as Kimi Raikkonen was in clean air. He was able to do push laps. Here now is Max Verstappen, who is in net P4, but I don't know if Valtteri Bottas, you know, if the overcut is not working, Valtteri Bottas is staying out for yet another lap, he will have something even worse happen, and maybe not only Max Verstappen will get by, but perhaps even Sebastian Vettel. Let's see what happens. Valtteri Bottas in P1 right now, but he has yet to pit at the end of this lap. Here is Max Verstappen, who is pushing. So is Sebastian Vettel, pushing as hard as possible, because this could be an easy way to get past Valtteri Bottas. Meanwhile, here's Lance Stroll being overtaken by the Haas of, I believe, Romain Grosjean. Yeah, there it is. Romain Grosjean tried to overtake Stroll quite a few laps ago. Now he makes it work. Good job from him. And now Meanwhile, here's Felipe Massa, the other Williams, not being overtaken, but overtaking round the outside. A very difficult move to make, but he's made it work. The Brazilian still has it. He's still got it, able to do some incredibly good racing. Clean, fair, but hard racing. And here is Valtteri Bottas. Now he will learn everything. He's coming out of the pits now. Will he be in P1 or will he fall behind? No, that is Max Verstappen right there. And he's lost the position. He's down in P4, but he is ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel, being held up by those cars, has not helped him whatsoever. Sebastian Vettel, will he go down the inside? No, he will not. He's staying behind. But this is tragic news, not just for Valtteri Bottas, but for Mercedes, who have ruined the strategy. It's not worked out, and rather than being on the cards for 1-2, they will be getting a 2-4, maybe even a 2-5 if Sebastian Vettel can do anything about this. But Sebastian Vettel is on older, harder tires. Now Valtteri Bottas can go faster. Maybe now he will be catching up to the likes of Max Verstappen. This perhaps is the strategy that Mercedes were hoping for. Now they can really push for it, but I'm afraid that the gap is just too big. Even if they push very, very hard, I don't think that the tire advantage is big enough yet, at least, that it would make a big difference. Here is Max Verstappen. Here is Kimi Raikkonen, who is leading the Grand Prix very convincingly. It's been a pretty easy race for him so far. Yeah, absolutely. Just a master class, not just from Kimi Raikkonen, but for Ferrari, the strategy working out perfectly there. Unfortunately, Sebastian Vettel not having the best luck with the strategy, and that's really hindered him. But with the pace he's been showing, he could have had a really strong race. He may still get P4. Meanwhile, we are on board with Romain Grosjean doing a fantastic job. Here is Daniel Ricardo, the man who just did not have enough race pace today when it mattered at his home Grand Prix. What a shame. On lap 3, going from P3 down to P6 in one lap, and unfortunately that is where he has stayed the entire race. He does have a decent gap now to the car behind, but also to the car ahead. Here is Valtteri Bottas, and he is stretching his legs. He is creating gap to Sebastian Vettel. This is what Mercedes were hoping for. This is actually perhaps working out well for them. However, Mercedes don't stand to gain anything from this. If Valtteri Bottas can overtake Max Verstappen, he's just back in P3 where he was in the first place. They were probably hoping to move forward. So at the moment it is just damage limitation, and Valtteri Bottas is putting in some fantastic laps, really showing what he can do with these fresh soft tires, ultra softs to be exact, and he is catching up to Max Verstappen every lap. But Sebastian Vettel is no slouch either, catching up to Valtteri Bottas just as he is catching up to Max Verstappen. So maybe this isn't a huge advantage to Valtteri Bottas, but just a huge disadvantage to Max Verstappen, because Max Verstappen is being caught up by Valtteri Bottas, who is in turn being caught up by Sebastian Vettel. This might be what happened to, similar to what happened to Daniel Ricardo, that he's overtaken by two people in quick succession because he just does not have the same pace. And Valtteri Bottas already catching up so much. He's very, very close behind Max Verstappen already, just from this one lap. Max Verstappen going off the road, a bit of dust. That's not stopping Valtteri Bottas at all. He's going very, very fast. He's not quite close enough, but he's caught up so much in this past lap as Max Verstappen beginning to lose some grip perhaps with those tires, and Valtteri Bottas has an abundance of grip. This is what Mercedes were hoping for. Unfortunately not working too well for Lewis Hamilton, but Valtteri Bottas doing a good job. Here is Max Verstappen though. He has still got that P3, a podium position. That is fantastic work from him. Now we are on board with Fernando Alonso, who has been waiting a long time to be making some sort of move on the Williams. Up ahead of him, I believe that is Lance Stroll. Will he be able to make this move? He's been trying to make a move since a very long time. He just didn't manage to make it. Can he make it now? Here is Lance Stroll. He's going to be trying to stop it from happening, but what can you really do to stop the rampaging Spaniard behind him? Here is Stoffel van Dorn also behind Fernando Alonso, but Fernando Alonso not yet making the move, but he is so close indeed. Meanwhile, here is Max Verstappen, who is being caught up even more by Valtteri Bottas. What will Valtteri Bottas... Oh, and Max Verstappen's gone off, and Valtteri Bottas tries to go around the outside, but Max Verstappen still has got up the position. What was that? Max Verstappen making a misjudgment. Valtteri Bottas gets past. Meanwhile, here is Fernando Alonso. Oh! What is this? On the final lap, Fernando Alonso out of the Grand Prix. Lance Stroll making a lock-up there. What is going on? Yeah, here we are with Valtteri Bottas now. Will he be able to make a move on Max Verstappen? He tried to just a few moments ago. Max Verstappen felt the pressure, went off track. But braked very late, very aggressively, and he was able to keep his P3. He went wide though, he's losing the grip. Valtteri Bottas sticking to the racing line like a piece of tape. Now, will he be able to make a move? It's now or never. Yellow flag because of Fernando Alonso's McLaren. Unfortunately, a very unlucky day for Fernando Alonso, doing his absolute best, and on the last lap, he just makes... he just has to retire. But here is Sebastian Vettel now, who is catching up now to Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas catching up to Max Verstappen. But now Sebastian Vettel so close to Valtteri Bottas. Now here they are. What will happen? Valtteri Bottas not close enough to Max Verstappen, but Sebastian Vettel also not close enough to make a move either. So I believe this will stay as it is. Here is Kimi Raikkonen though, the man who has dominated the Grand Prix. It is an easy P1 for him. Fantastic work from Ferrari and from the Flying Finn. And here is Lewis Hamilton, happy enough to get P1, P2, but after getting a pole position, you just have to wonder, where are Mercedes truly at? Here is Max Verstappen though. He is going to round the corner to get a P3, the first podium of the season at the first Grand Prix. A fantastic race from here.
Great effort there from Ferrari to take the victory today. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs. And that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
Here come our winning drivers then, out onto the podium at the end of a thrilling Grand Prix. The drama and excitement are over, and it's time to let it all sink in. Congratulations to our top three today. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Look at where Roman Grosjean finished compared to where he started. That's a really strong performance, so driver of the day has to go to him, I think.
That's it for today's Grand Prix, and from Ant and I, it's goodbye, and see you again next time.